Without further ado, I'm very happy to announce our next speaker who, if you've been here before, you might know or recognize him, Michael Duttlinger from Cashlink. How progressive regulation in Germany provides a new infrastructure for capital markets. Welcome, Michael. Take a microphone you like or use the one here. Your slides are up there. Is it turned on? Just turn it on. It is turned on.
Hello. It's not working? Is it working?
Otherwise, just take that one. I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Also, you're getting the minute back.
Yeah, okay. Now it's working, I think. Yeah, welcome everyone. My name is Michael Duttlinger. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Cashlink. Today I'm going to walk you through how progressive regulation, especially the EWPG we just heard of, is shaping a new capital markets infrastructure. Cashlink, we are a tokenization provider, one of the leading in Europe. We're offering our clients an investment as a service infrastructure so that they can offer their investors easily access to tokenized assets like real estate, collectibles, or any kind of infrastructure projects like wind parks and solar parks. We are based here in Frankfurt. We are supported by European venture capitalists. We are official cooperation partner of the Deutsche Börse Venture Network. And we're very happy. We have won the FinTech Germany Award twice over the last 2 years and are very active in the German blockchain community or especially in the tokenization community. We've been in this space for a couple of years now and also been pioneering this space. So we had a lot of firsts. We tokenized the first profit participation right by tokenizing our company Cashlink. So we ate our own dog food, kind of. We tokenized the first stock together with our partner Bankhaus Scheich. Then we tokenized the first wind park with our partner Vivin. We tokenized the first venture capital fund with Econos and InVenture. And now recently we just tokenized the first NFT, which is kind of, might seem kind of odd. I mean, why would you tokenize something which is non-fungible and we make it fungible again? But if you look closely, it makes total sense. An NFT is basically a private capital market asset. NFTs are valued at 5, 6, or 7 digit. Most people cannot afford it. They don't have access. And by tokenizing or securitizing this NFT, you can have access to an NFT with 100 euro and now done by our partner Artrade. We also have now done our first EWPG issuances as we got the preliminary license as Kryptowertpapierregisterführer, as Crypto Securities Registrar, and have now done together with Bankhaus Scheich and we registered the issuance of the issuer Artec as an EWPG issuance. We have done, as far as we know, probably the most tokenizations in Germany. We've tokenized over 50 assets right now. We've reached more than 20,000 investors who have actively invested into these assets. So what Johannes just said, the market is really growing. It took a couple of years. Still, we are not at the limit. It's just getting started. But it's getting more and more attraction. And the thing is, we always talked about tokenization, but generally speaking, it's not about tokenization. It's about really providing value to the investors. And the key to this is always regulation. So our clients right now are banks and investment platforms like Bankhaus Scheich, Lloyd Force, or recently just announced today, Hauck Aufhäuser Lampe, who have also done their first EWPG issuances, and we supported them by doing this. So you see more and more even established players are going into the now regulated field of tokenization with the new EWPG law. We're also supporting investment platforms, the ones I just mentioned, that they can easily offer these investments into tokenized assets or now regulated EWPG assets. We're a B2B2X company, so we're really at the lowest level and providing the infrastructure so that in the future everyone or any bank or investment platform, tokenization platform can issue EWPG issuances, tokenized, regulated tokenized issuances in the private capital market space. Generally speaking, and I think this is something everyone agrees at this conference, DLT tokenization will completely transform capital markets infrastructure. Now we think personally, and that's what we experienced, that by doing all this tokenization, right now the biggest opportunity is in the private capital market space. So usually most people only look at what's usually seen as the public capital market space. There's a trading boom, more and more people are getting into stocks, this is what most people think of when they think of investing. But if you look at the private capital markets is not even huger, it's bigger. It's now more and more people, investments are shifting to private capital markets because, yeah, there are sometimes higher return on investments, better risk ROI portfolios. This market gets more and more interesting. Nevertheless, the private capital market faces some challenges. It's high investment barrier. Most of us retailers don't have access to private capital markets. The investment costs are very high, and there's almost no liquidity. So it's a huge primary market and a very, very small secondary market in the private capital market space. When we talk about real estate, we talk about company shares, we talk about collectibles, also NFTs. So we at Cashlink, we are helping these investors that they now can easily invest into private capital market assets. We are offering our clients a solution so that they can really focus on the assets and distributing and managing the assets, and they access our solution via an API, and then we can act as a Kryptowertpapierregisterführer, EWPG registrar, and the investor finally can invest into these assets the investors couldn't invest before. So we're providing a tech layer and also a regulatory layer, Kryptowertpapierregisterführung and all the tech, the tokenization, and we take care of all the blockchain stuff, and then our partners can use our white label solution. Looking about regulation, what I experienced, we experienced at Cashlink, is regulation is the key to adoption. If you look at all the other jurisdictions, basically Germany is now at the pole position. Usually, I know Germany is not known for being always at a pole position of any innovation and pole position of regulation. But in this case, we have overtaken basically every major economy. Germany is the only major economy. There are smaller ones like Liechtenstein, who were probably the first ones. Talking about the major economies, Germany is the first one who have really regulated tokenization. And this is really remarkable because regulatory certainty drives investment certainty. And this is also the reason why then players like Hauck Aufhäuser Lampe, Bankhaus Scheich, regulated players are now really entering the space, because regulation means it's just clear what to do. It's not a gray space anymore, it's a white space and a black space. So that's why I totally favor the regulation. Of course, it's more cost effective a little bit, and Cashlink also is now applying for the EWPG license, but it makes total sense because it gives everyone more security in the space, and this is very, very interesting. If you look at the roadmap, so how it started at the beginning, there was a case-by-case guidance by BaFin, and then we had the first prospectus approved by Bitbond, which was a major milestone, and then what I call we had the first blockchain law in Germany. So we regulated custody. Make total sense to regulate custody. There are around, I don't know, a few now regulated custodians who can store your assets. Then, come like 1.5 years later, come the second, what I call the second blockchain law, which is regulating the crypto securities registrar. And this also makes total sense because the one who is owning the smart contract, who is responsible for the smart contract, should be regulated. This is a very, very important function, and if you own that function, you should be regulated. And this gives so many investors and so many issuers so much more security, as now it's a regulated service, it's done by regulated companies, and this is really what I think will drive adoption, is driving adoption now and will drive adoption in the future. So that's why if you want to enter the space of tokenization, I would argue there's no better place in the world, better than US, better than Singapore, better than Hong Kong, do it in Germany. And I mean, this is just the beginning, because right now, of course, Germany kind of did a blueprint on this, and there will be harmonization on a European level. And I hope and I think, I mean, they will closely look at what Germany has done here, and then it gets even more interesting. What I also think is very interesting, that the approach of the German government was not to regulate the whole space. It was basically that to regulate only, like we startups do, to do an iterative process. So right now the EWPG is focused on BERA bonds, Inhaberschuldverschreibungen in Germany. So it's not done for all asset classes. So we started with one asset class, and now we can move to another asset class. So the government is now planning to extend the EWPG to also stocks and other instruments. And this is also, I think, a very good approach. There has been talks now in this by previous speakers about EWPG. I mean, now you have a regulated security. You can go to a CSD like Clearstream, but you can also go to one of the Kryptowertpapierregisterführern, and then you can have a security, but issued in a way more leaner way, in a way more cost-effective way, and done by tokenization on, for example, a public ledger. And this now allows to tokenize, for example, real estates and other private capital market assets at lower costs, and that's where they get possible to invest, for example, for retail investors, which didn't have access before. I could have also before securitized these kind of assets, but then I have to do it via the old system, and now I can use the new system, which is done via EWPG. Just a little look into the practice. So Bankhaus Scheich, Cashlink, we did our first EWPG issuances. There have been now 6, as we just heard. And so we did one with Artec Technologies, which is a listed company. So in this case, Bankhaus Scheich took care of everything as a all-in-one tokenization solution provider. We at Cashlink functioned as a registrar, and we're responsible for registering the crypto security. It was a convertible bond. The smart contracts were issued on polygons. We're using a public ledger for this. And now retail investors can invest into this convertible bond via the solution of Tradias. So completely digital and done via a regulated tokenization product. Here can look a little bit closer. So we have the issuer, we have the investors, then we have the bank and investment platform. In this case, it was Tradias, where you can log in, where you can invest, where the management of the assets happens, where basically everything as an all-in-one solution provider happens. Cashlink at the little bit lower level, infrastructure level, acting as a Kryptowertpapierregisterführer. We of course need a wallet solution. I mean, somehow you have to store your security. You cannot store it in your bank account like you used to. You have to now store it in a wallet. So you need some wallet solution. And right now it can be a regulated custodian. It could also be a self-custody. And then at the really lowest level, we store or we have the registry on-chain. In this case, at Cashlink, we use Polygon and Ethereum. So here also, no CSD is needed, no depot bank is needed, no paying agent is needed. And that's why we can really lower the issuance and transaction costs. And that's why it gets interesting for a lot of assets to be now securitized, but in a tokenized way. Again, regulation is key. And this is just the beginning. We are now moving to more other asset classes who are going to be regulated under the new EWPG law. And then, of course, and this is something we envision here at the conference, there's so many other concepts coming from the unregulated DeFi space who now should be married to the CeFi or traditional finance space. And this is, of course, the use of stablecoins, that we have instant DVP processes. This is the use of decentralized exchanges. This is the use of maybe automated compounding, or even if you look at DAOs, which is now really coming up, how can we mix DAOs with then securities? And that's why, there's a lot ahead of us. And right now, as Johannes just said, there's a lot of things still stored off-chain, and we're going to be moving more and more on-chain. And the key to doing this is just regulation. Regulation drives everything, and that's why I'm very happy that we in Germany are in the pole position for this, and this drives the whole markets and is a competitive advantage for all of us being here. And that's why I'm really looking forward to everything which is now coming and who will be added to this new kind of financial system we're building up. And yes, so if you are interested, we did a white paper about EWPG. You can download it. If you want to register your tokenized, or if you want to tokenize something, you want to register it, then just come to us, or like I just said, for example, to Bankhaus Scheich, Tradias. They can take care of it. So thank you for, thank you, and see you later at the conference.